Subscription-based gaming platforms are killing games as we know and love them. There we go, I said it. The fact that you pay a monthly fee to get access to hundreds of titles, of which some of them as day one games, is not only causing you anxiety in the short run, but also causing gaming fatigue in the long run. Now you might be wondering, wait, who the fuck is this guy, man? Why the hell is this guy talking about gaming like it's a life or death scenario? Well, it kind of is in a sense. Look, remember back in the day when you went to the local game shop and just browsed the sales bin, looking at the title and the back of the game case for screenshots and the synopsis, hoping that something catches your eye, and you end up paying the whole of your savings, which amounts to like what, 10 or $5, for it to not only be the greatest game that your 10-year-old eyes have ever laid upon, and then that introduces you to the greatest hobby ever, which is gaming. Well, that was Legend of Zelda Wind Waker for me, my broski. And since that day, I have had this love for gaming that cannot really be explained, because not only is it therapeutic for me, but it's also a way to really relax and let my mind recover from anything that is happening IRL. Unless you're getting dunked on in Battlefield 6, that is, of course. Picking up games on sale or hyping games up by watching trailers and playing demos, that was the way to go back in the day. And finding out about games in the past and the thrill of picking up a new title that you paid even some amount of cash for really gave meaning and value to the games you were playing. But then came subscription-based platforms, and all of a sudden you were offered dozens of games for a measly fee of what, 10 big ones per month. Like most of you, I thought to myself, wow, how convenient. I'm sure this will be the way gaming evolves in the future. And then the years went by and I was mindlessly paying and waiting for new games to come out and not really giving a second thought to the value aspect of games. Then other platforms started doing it as well, and all of a sudden you're paying a full games amount per month to access hundreds of games at any given time, which on paper sounds like pretty much the single greatest deal in gaming, am I right? But what most of us didn't notice while doing this was that the value factor in these games became obsolete, and we started to lose connection with the excitement surrounding any specific game coming out. Like, how many times have you said or heard someone else say, oh, I'll just wait for the game to come on Game Pass or PlayStation Plus, and then completely forget about it? So by the time it actually does come out to the platform of your choice, your excitement for the game is so minuscule that you might as well just not play it altogether, because it all just ends up feeling so meh. That happened to me with Metaphor ReFantazio, if I'm being perfectly honest, because man, when the game first got announced, I watched the videos like a little child. The gameplays, man, I was like, holy shit. And as a fan of the Persona games, I could not wait for this to come out to sink my omnivorous teeth into, only for me to then wait for it to eventually drop on Game Pass. And when I got around to actually playing it, I ended up dropping it after like 10 hours, because the original hype I had for Metaphor had just become flat. Like, we're talking about the game of the year here. Like, that game put JRPGs back on the imaginary map that I'm imagining right about now. Like, what the f, man? This game was supposed to blow me away with how awesome it is, but instead what it ended up being was just an okay experience altogether. That once a new game dropped on the Game Pass platform, I just pretty much moved on. And that brings me to the next point, which is the overwhelming amount of games coming out on these platforms that cause the worst feeling in gaming, and that is the fear of missing out. We've all been there, wondering if you should continue playing a title before starting the new game that literally just dropped on the subscription platform, only to then do the exact same thing a week later when another game drops as well. Like, the feeling of value for time or money spent on that in that sense has become so short-sighted that we expect every game we play to be the greatest of all time, and we jump between them like it's nothing, instead of back in the day when we used to spend our savings or earn money on games. Gaming in this sense has become like Instagram Reels or other platforms like that, where if it doesn't immediately grab your attention and keep it for a long period of time, you just end up moving on like some dopamine addicted fiend. Speaking of which, if I've managed to hold your attention for at least this long in the video, then man, consider subscribing to the channel, like, comment, do all of that YouTube jazz, man. But in any case, man, this kind of short attention span playing is detrimental to how we feel about gaming in general, and end up causing fatigue to the hobby when we're constantly jumping between game to game. Take Metaphor, for example, again, as most people who have played it will say the same thing, which is that the game only gets good after about 15 hours, but 90% of gamers will never experience that because their attention span won't be held for that long, and that is me included. And that's not even necessarily by choice either. When there are constant new releases coming out on these platforms to really pique your dopamine intrigued brain. Now, of course, I'm not saying you should force yourself to finish every game you start. What I'm saying is that the way our brains are hardwired, our subconscious mind might log off way sooner than what we would want when playing a specific game. We've all had those weird moments where playing the same game you left 2 days ago doesn't feel quite the same anymore, because your mind is already thinking about the 10 other games that are on the platform just waiting to be played for a day or two to then drop, and so on and so forth. There is such a thing as too much choice when it comes to gaming, as most of our brains are built to seek some sort sort of instant gratification instead of holding it in the long term. Now, you could blame Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Netflix, HBO, man, you name it, there's probably a subscription platform out there for it. But gaming was supposed to be the escape from all of this hecticness, not fall into the same loop of short-lived dopamine hits. Now, with the current price hikes, especially on the Xbox ecosystem, which is absolutely dog shit, it might feel easier to skip on these subscription-based platforms altogether. But for me, it took this exact price hike to realize that, man, I have become a sheep of sorts to the whims of games releasing, never giving games the quote-unquote right amount of attention, because a part of me is always waiting for the next batch of games coming out. Because of this, the hype I have for games has all but diminished to nothing more than a short exhale through my nose when I see an Instagram post about the game dropping or seeing it be widely praised. And what's even worse, have the praise be on another game that you're planning on waiting while you are currently knee-deep in this specific RPG. That's it, no excitement, no hype, no buying a game day one anymore. That kinda does make me feel a bit sad, in all honesty, because like many of you watching this, gaming is my thing, right? So not being excited to play a game loses the purpose of gaming altogether, in a sense. And I'll be the first one to say that as well, man. It's not what it used to be. And as much as I hate being the guy to say those exact words, because I'm getting older as well, and all the old people say that shit, but man, it is true. Now, does this mean I'm gonna buy games at full price from now on? Man, hell to the no. 80 to 90 bucks per game is insanity. What kind of rich bastard do you take me for? But what it does make me want to do is pay at least some amount and still enjoy a wide variety of games, but also get at least some feeling of value when playing them. Not to even mention that in a way you're directly helping the devs of said game as well. And if that's something you enjoy, then that's what this whole channel is built around, my broski. Here on RPG Talk, we like to look at the value of each game and what it brings to the table, and whether the games we play are actually worth our time and the few units of currency that we ended up paying for them. So if that kind of ordeal interests you, then well, I think you know what I'm about to say next, my dude, and that is subscribe to the channel also. But ultimately, what the f do I know, man? I'm just a gaming enthusiast who really thinks that subscription-based gaming is kind of the doom, if you will, in the gaming world. Man, what you think, man? Let me know in the comments down below, of course. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, let me know in the comment down below. I'm really pushing this comment section, man. Interaction, that's the name of the game. But yeah, man, let me know what you think, man. I hope you guys have a great day wherever you're from, whichever time of day you watch this ad. Go and watch me ramble on some more in a quicker format, in a quick review. Watch this video next, my bro chacho. I've been your broski. I don't really know how to end this video, so keep on trucking, my dude. Peace out.